Welcome to the episode 42 summary of the Reading Finnegans Wake in 200 Sessions podcast, where we analyze Finnegans Wake by James Joyce 3 pages at a time. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment to support us. Okay, so James Joyce's Finnegans Wake. We've all heard of it, right? It's got this reputation for being one of the hardest books ever written. But what if I told you there was a key to crack its code? Today, we're diving into this famously unreadable novel to show you how a simple quiz hidden right inside its pages can unlock its biggest secrets.
I mean, just look at this line. Thine obesity, O civilian, hits the felicitude of our orb. What in the world could that possibly mean? It feels like complete nonsense, almost like it's designed to keep you out. It's the kind of thing that makes people say, this book is just a swirling vortex of puns and linguistic chaos. But what if there's a secret key? A way into all this beautiful madness. Believe it or not, this entire chunk of the book is actually built like a simple quiz. Yep, a series of 12 questions and answers that pretty much act as a Rosetta Stone for Joyce's entire method. So, you ready? Let's dive in. So, how does this quiz actually work? Well, let's just jump right in with the second question in the text. At first glance, it seems almost, childishly simple. The question is, does your mother know your mic? Simple, right? Kind of sounds like a line from an old song, Does your mother know you're out? But this is Finnegans Wake. Nothing is ever just one thing. Mutter is actually the German word for mother. And mic, well, that could be a whole lot of things. So the answer isn't just a yes or no. Of course not. It's an entire poem. And this poem describes a female figure, the river woman Annaleva. But it's not just random words. The whole thing has a rhythm that's set to a classic Irish song, the Shandon Bells. Right off the bat, Joyce is layering music, character, and language all together.
And here's a perfect example of his method. In the poem, he uses the word pontificator. Now, in Latin, pontifex literally means bridge builder. And that is exactly what Joyce is doing here. He's building bridges between languages, between sounds, between completely different ideas, creating this incredible web of connections in every single word.
Okay, let's move on to the next question, because this is where you can really see how this quiz builds into something even more clever. So for question 3, the book asks for a motto, but instead of just, giving you the answer, it gives you this huge list of what the answer is not. It lists over 20 different pubs, historical figures, place names. It's basically sending you on a wild goose chase. So, what is the answer? Well, it's that totally baffling quote from the beginning. Thine obesity, O civilian, hits the felicitude of our orb. Okay, now try saying that out loud. Just listen to the sounds. It's a massive, incredibly elaborate pun on the official Latin motto of Dublin, Obedientia civium urbis felicities. Joyce literally turned a boring old civic slogan into the strange musical phrase. Suddenly, the unreadable becomes, well, not just readable, but funny. And the puzzles just keep getting more and more intricate. I mean, check this out. For the 4th question, Joyce doesn't just ask for an answer, he gives you clues to solve it. It asks for an Irish capital city. It has to be 6 letters long, start with the Greek letter delta, that's a D, and end with nu, that's an N. So the obvious answer, the one that jumps out, is Dublin. But Joyce is never satisfied with just one answer. Because in classic Joyce fashion, he gives us 4 answers, one for each of the 4 provinces of Ireland. And each answer is a distorted version of the city's name, but the description is packed with puns about that city's unique culture. So for Belfast, which he calls Delphas, we get the bing-banging sounds of shipbuilding. For Cork, or Dark Cake, we hear the silvery speech you'd associate with the Blarney Stone. It's just brilliant. And then you get to Dublin's description, and you find this absolute gem of a word, Erebus. This is a perfect Joycean creation. On one level, it sounds like error in booze, right? A little nod to Dublin's legendary drinking culture and the Guinness Brewery. But hidden inside it is also Ouroboros, that ancient symbol of a snake eating its own tail, which represents the endless cycles that are at the very heart of Finnegans Wake. One word, with whole worlds of meaning packed inside. So we've seen Joyce pack entire cities into single answers. But he doesn't stop there. He can take entire groups of people, whole concepts, and pack them all into a single list. Later on in the quiz, a question asks to identify a group of people, and the list goes the door boy, the cleaner, the soldier, and so on. It just looks like a random list of jobs, but it's a code. The doorboy is January, named for Janus, the Roman god of doorways. The cleaner is February, named for the Roman feast of cleansing. The soldier, or soldier, is March, for Mars, the god of war. It's the 12 months of the year, totally disguised as ordinary people.
And you're not going to believe this, but it doesn't even end there. The exact same passage that encodes the 12 months of the year also contains the names of the 12 apostles. And it contains a list of 11 districts of Dublin, all of them just layered on top of each other in the same text. It's an absolutely incredible feat of literary engineering.
So after looking at just these few puzzles from the quiz, you can really start to see the patterns emerge. We can start to understand the rules of this supposedly unreadable book. It really boils down to three main keys if you want to crack the code. First, you've got multilingual puns everywhere. Words are constantly echoing other words in different languages. Second, every single word is layered with references to history, to mythology, to local Dublin life. And third, the structures are cyclical. Ideas and patterns repeat over and over again, just like that Ouroboros snake.
And here's the big takeaway from all this. Reading Finnegans Wake isn't about finding the one correct meaning. The goal isn't to solve it, like it's some kind of math problem. The goal is to play the game, to explore all the connections, and just to stand back and appreciate the sheer beautiful complexity of the puzzle that Joyce created for us. The difficulty isn't a barrier to get through, it's the whole point. It forces us to read in a totally new way, to listen with new ears, and to find real joy in the endless possibilities of language. Which really just leaves us with one final looping question that the book itself seems to ask. If a book can mean everything all at once, where does its story truly begin?